and get going and say, welcome to all of you guys. And I just really enjoying how consistent you guys are all being. That's really the number one thing that really comes down to with health coaching is being consistent. So you guys are here with us tonight or watching the recording. So hello to all you future coaches in future world watching the recording of this. We're focused this entire month on helping all of our new partners get a really strong start with health coaching here. So this is week number 2. We're on Monday, April 11th, and we're going to jump in right here. So first, we made an invitation for you guys to come grow with us. And you can't move forward in health coaching or your health in general without growing. So that's why we chose the term growing with us over the season. It's a great time to grow your business. It's a great time to grow personally. It's a great time to grow in helping others. And so as we kick off here, we're only 1 week into the month of April or 1 week into this series. I want to congratulate you all on being consistent. Again, that's what is the number one thing. If you could, Susan, you're going to be my main speaker here tonight, and Lori, you're going to share some insight. But if there's one thing that we could probably trace back to why we've been able to help so many people is just because it's not because of how great we are. It's not how amazing, Susan, your earrings are. Oh, we were joking about that before the call. They are pretty cool, though. It's about being consistent. And that is the number one skill that you can learn in your health and in helping others. So before we even kick off, congratulations on being consistent in your health and in coaching. But I ran a report for new coaches, not only last month, but the month before, and well over 50%. And remembering that about half of the people did get started here in the last week, or no, that being the last 2 weeks. We have almost about 75% of people already have their first client or have started their first client or have their first order this month. So congratulations, because one thing I always tell new coaches is you'll always remember who the first person you started on their health journey is. You'll remember it for the rest of your life. And plus, when you know that, now all you got to do is do it again. And that's the simple part once you already get going. So that's one stat. We've had already 25 people this month out of those new coaches make senior coach already. That is phenomenal. That means you guys are out taking steps and reaching out to people and really getting down to where the rubber meets the road. So I just wanted to say a heartfelt congratulations to you all. I mean, that's just really what it's about. And why we focus on our first 5, which I'll get to here in a second, is because once you know how to help 5 people, you get really comfortable with reaching out. You know what it's like to do it. And if you know how to help 5, you can help 500, because how to keep moving forward in health coaching is just doing what you've done over and over again, except now you have little billboards walking around and you have some success under your belt. So this is a review of what we talked about last week. Again, the main action steps, they're going to really help focus on what's going to help you be able to move forward. It's number 1, creating that list that we were talking about. Susan's going to kind of go over here in a second on why that is and why we utilize that, and how to have that on you at all times and have it really be in a growing list. Because again, like any habit of health, a habit of having your list with you and adding to your list is the habit of a thriving business. Number 2 was to do your first call if you are on the brand newer side. 3-way call or call with your health coach and one of your interested people and sign up your first client. And I personally did that with a lot of you. So congratulations. And then of course, once your first person's done, we're going for your first 5. So making your progress on those 5 people, making senior coach this month. Another goal was to share your story 5 times this last week, and just kind of get comfortable with it. And Susan has a funny story for that later on. I'll just give it away so she can stay on focus on her topic. She practiced in the mirror. She used to practice in the mirror, and Shane caught her sharing her story because she wanted to be prepared and ready to share it when people were asking. And then the last thing was to post on Facebook daily and be consistent on that. So again, we'll have some more action tips like this that'll be more kind of boiled down, even more boiled down. But if you guys focus on those activities, I'm sure you guys move forward in layering people and adding to your list and in signing up clients. If you did any of those action steps, that means you're moving forward. And just again, the big review here is, guys, the main focus of coaching, just so you guys are crystal clear on where we're going, it's your first 5 clients getting started on program. And I'm going to go over that just real quick. Why? I just mentioned it, a little bit, but 1, out of the gate, you're being successful. Like, everyone loves to be successful and everyone loves to celebrate. That's why we have smiley faces in the back office. Number 2, that greatly increases your success, that you are going to move forward and do higher ranks of our business. And next week, we'll be breaking down a little bit about client support, a little bit more action steps, and kind of how you will build past senior coach now that you have it done. But it also just, again, it shows you how to do basics of this business. And once you brought on your first 5 clients, not only are you making some good compensation in your first month, it's about $500 minimum just for getting your first clients, getting your cab going. But also, the fundamental building blocks, because once you help 5, you can help 5 more, and you can help someone help 5. It's a brilliant, genius thing, and it's a really cool way to set up a ripple effect. So again, first and foremost, 5 people is your first goal. And Susan might speak to this a little bit, but I heard a few rumblings of a few people saying, I just want to do a few more trainings and then I'll get into maybe it next month. And if that's you, I just want to be bold and encourage you we're just a bunch of imperfect people that say we want to move our health forward, helping other people do the same on a very simple system in a very simple and loving community. So if you have success on this program, people that need this. All you need to know is to reach out to them. And that's, again, why we have the list and say, who do you want to reach out to first? Who's most exciting for you? Who's asking questions? And so the simple action step, and we'll go into this in kind of a recap, is reaching out to that person and seeing if you can answer some of the questions they have. Bringing in your health coach, because you don't have to know everything. They're the one that helped you. They can help them too. So again, just being crystal clear on where we're going here, and congrats to all of those that have already accomplished the first step of their first client and their first step of coaching, which their first 5 clients. And we'll celebrate everyone at the very end of this. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Susan, who has a great topic. And a lot of you guys were looking for content and some good dialogue on reaching out to people. And no one really does that better than Susan LaBelle. So Susan's going to cover a little bit about this topic and just some really good verbiage on reaching out to those you care most about. So Susan, take the floor.
All right. Hey, everyone. Well, thank you, Brad. He was giving me a hard time about my earrings. I just got off the soccer field and he's like, wow, you just got off the soccer field? I'm like, Brad doesn't know this. It's like lipstick and earrings. Like, we're on the counter. I came in and I'm ready for y'all. So yeah, super excited. I loved last week's call, and congrats just to everybody, and just welcome to this really fun, amazing team that we have. And what I felt last week, we laid a really great framework of kind of what the next steps are. And really the next steps are, let's further this mission and help those people that are on your heart, because people that I don't know, that Brad doesn't know, that Don doesn't know. And that's how we are really going to change the face of America and the world, is really help, eradicate obesity one person at a time. And so that's what I'm super passionate about. And I know when we talked on a list, I love lists. I don't know about you, but I like to make a list because I like to check things. I just like to check things off of a list. But sometimes we hear, okay, I need to make a list. But it's not about you needing to do anything. In fact, you'll find that we are a very supportive, coaching structure. But when I understand why I need to do something, it makes so much more sense. And when I started to wrap my head around why I'm writing names down on a piece of paper, what it really was is these are the people that were on my heart that I wanted to help, the people that were in my world. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm busy. Anybody else busy? Yeah. And someone will come across our mind, or we'll run into somebody, or someone will comment on something on social media. And initially we'll come home, maybe follow up once, but what happens in 2 months from now, and 6 months from now? And I'm just so grateful I was on someone's list at one time, that they stayed consistent and were following up on me, so that in my timing, I could choose and say yes to health. And that I knew that, and now that I know how the structure works, I just know that I was on that person's follow-up. And so that's really essentially what we want to create is, we have a list because it's professional. It's actually going to save you time and save you brain space and mental space. and it's just, it's who and what, it's really just who you really want to help. So I know last week they stretched you to think of kind of 10 people, and we're going to continue to stretch you on that. And I hung out on the call last week to hear just the questions of what many of you guys were wondering. And what I heard a lot of was the how. Like, okay, I want to do this. I know why I want to coach. I know how it's worked for me, but how do I reach out to people? Like, what do I say? Because we all want to do it well and right. And I want to first reassure you, kind of what, Brad had mentioned is, well, first of all, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And how you're going to learn to do it is you're going to do it wrong maybe a few times and not perfect. And you'll assess afterwards. You'll be like, well, it wasn't great, but that's how we get better. We really learn by doing. And that's also why we use our mentorship and use three-way phone calls, because we can really increase that learning curve by bringing someone in who's already had to go through the learning curve to model and show for you how this whole process works. And so also, we really want to teach you guys how to be effective in sharing our offering, because the last thing that I hope any of you are thinking is, or if you've ever said to yourself, gosh, I'd love to do this, but I'm a terrible salesperson. Well, the answer, what I have to say to you is good. I'm glad you're a really crappy salesperson, because as am I. And first of all, that's not what we do. I find that people think we're in sales, they miss this whole authentic part of what we do and how we offer. And this is actually maybe not the right fit and best business model for them, because really we're in the business of building relationships. So how many of you guys have friends and family? And we want to treat those relationships like gold and strengthen and build in strong relationships in our spheres of influence in a way that's very, very authentic. So I'm gonna jump right into it. So first, our goal is to inspire, give hope, and cause people to inquire, meaning we want people reaching out to us. And so we want to be able to live out loud enough and let people know what we're doing and what we're excited about enough that they're going to inquire and ask us what we're doing. And then our overall goal, and you're going to have your own personality to it, is to always not give the how before we get to the why. So we want to not give away the how, which is really easy to do when people are inquiring, like give all the information without really discovering what their why is. So I think if there's any takeaway, the why before the how. Write that down. Because really what we want to be able to create for people is we want to introduce them to Take Shape for Life. And so we know that if we don't take time with people will just do MetaFast for a month and not take shape for life. And so by asking enough questions, we really want to posture that this is a lifestyle program. And so we're just kind of taking a transactional sales approach. It can very much be MetaFast for a month for people. And that's not who and what we are and what we want to offer people. And so taking time with people, that first of all, it's very professional. It's going to show you're consistent and show that you care. And what I'm going to really walk you through tonight is about standing your ground, meaning it can be sometimes we get this urge to want to share. They're asking questions. Can you send me your website? Can you tell me what this program is? But really standing your ground that if we become less professional, we become more salesy, we become more transactional when we just send what we think they need. It'd be like walking into a doctor's office and they walk in and they give you a prescription without ever really asking, why you're there, what are your symptoms, what are you looking for, what's really going on with you. So we really want to discover what people want, why they want that before we're really going into the how with people. So take time and be cautious of sharing on the fly. I think this is a big one for me because I am so excited, and we're always so worried about a missed opportunity. And the biggest one I can think of is, I live in my hometown, and so I share my story out on Facebook, and then all of a sudden I run into someone at the grocery store, and I've got both my kids with me, and they've got their kids with them, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, you look great. What are you doing?" And we're so worried about missing that opportunity, we just start verbal vomiting all over them, because we're we want to make sure we get all the information out because they asked, right? Or maybe you're at church or somewhere. The most important thing I can really convey today is we want to create urgency. We want to be professional. We do want to follow up with those people, but it's perfectly fine to say, I am so excited to share with you. Can I call you when I get home and collect their information? Or can we chat after the kids get settled? And why I say that is because if you share part but you don't finish, it can be very awkward in the full follow-up of where did we really leave off? Maybe I said too much. And most of all, you probably didn't get an opportunity because they weren't able to be fully focused to ask the right questions to find out what they're really looking to create in their health. So maybe you delved right into the 5-in-1 when all along they were a nursing mom, and really we needed to ask more questions. Again, the why before the how. And so it's really, if again, biggest thing you can kind of walk away with today is really we want to create interest in all areas of what we're doing, whether that's out and about, by what we're bringing to the potlucks that we go to, like what we're exuding, what we're talking about, what we're putting out there on social media. But at the end of the day, if you can get really good at this, like saying, it depends on, you know, what you want to accomplish. So I have a lot of people ask me a lot of questions at a party, like, hey, I hear you, you know, you and your husband have your own health business. Like, what is it? What do you guys do? How do you guys help people? I get it everywhere. And I love that because I want to generate interest. And I'll say, you know, it really depends on what you want to accomplish. You know, I'd love a chance to connect. When would be a good time to talk? And kind of set up time to go over your goals and see if what I coach is a match for you. And so it's really getting good at that. It depends on what you want to accomplish and not feeling like I need to give all the information right there without setting a proper time to really go over their why before I give away the how. And so let me get to my next slide here. Okay, so we're going to go over a few of these. I'm going to give, and I will have these PowerPoints available, but I think it's kind of, you'll get the gist of what this looks like. That's really what I hope you walk away with. And, but I want this to come authentically from you. So these would be my words, and you want to use your words. But again, you're going to see a really similar cadence to all of these. If you're having success on program right now, people are probably asking you everywhere you go, what program are you doing or what are you doing? We want that question, right? And so Brad gave my trick away. I practiced in the mirror, and I practiced in the mirror because I wanted that question, and I wanted to make sure that I felt bold enough and comfortable enough that I wasn't stumbling over my words. And it wasn't about me going long into my story. So we say, share your story often, right? But it wasn't a lot. And I would let people know that I'm following a lifestyle program with a weight loss component. And I've done so well that they've invited me to coach others. Do you guys all think you could just kind of follow about those two lines? And then many times it's like, you know, do you know someone looking for help? And they may go, well, me. Great. I would love a chance to set up time to connect, hear about your goals, and see if what I coach is a fit for you. Okay, so we're looking for a way for them to ask, what is your program? So if it's a lifestyle program with a weight loss component. It's not a 3-minute dictation of all the details of our program. That's not necessarily what they were asking for. And sometimes they just want to know, but maybe there is an interest there. I don't know. So I'm just trying to keep it short and simple, and then really turn it back onto them and find out if they know anyone that I might be able to assist. So what exactly do you do, or how does it work? Like, what exactly is your program? And how many of us want to go into like all the benefits and all the vitamins and minerals that our food has? Because we're excited about what we have to offer. But again, it's just a very simple way of saying, you know, I coach through people through a structured eating plan and lifestyle program. Do you know someone that I may be able to assist? So again, kind of answering a question with a question and following up there. So it's back to that initial kind of understanding that, right? It depends on what they want to accomplish, having that always in mind before we're giving away the how, okay? So we're not going into too much detail, enough that it's a lifestyle program with a weight loss component, and you're welcome to put in there that I've done so well, they've invited me to coach others. I think that's very inviting for them to know that you too are really excited to assist your friends and family. And so here was another question that came up at the end of last week on how do we answer cost? And here's what I love is, you're going to get this question from everybody. And sometimes it's not because they have a concern with costs. They just honestly want to know what they need to write in their checkbook, right? We just need to know. It's not, so when they ask the question, don't automatically assume that they think it's expensive. If you're getting a lot of people thinking it's expensive, one thing I would consider is how do you feel about the program? Because sometimes how we feel about something is being generated either through our body language, our verbiage, to like really convey that it's expensive. And what I've really found, and I feel very strongly about this, that we save so much money on program. And if it's cost neutral, if not a deal for people. And because of my real like inward belief of that and my personal experience with that, it comes across in my conversations, plus the value that this program really offered to my life. So I get very little conflict with costs, partly just because of my energy around it. So just really something to consider. And again, if this is a consistent question of concern that you're getting, something to work with your business coach on. But again, do you guys love this? It depends upon what you want to accomplish. Do you guys love that? We're using it again. So you guys seeing a pattern here? I'm not giving away, all the info until I really know what they want. Again, a nursing mom, someone that may be doing our Optimal Living 3 and 3 program, or are they a candidate for the 5 and 1? I really want to know what they want to accomplish before I give away all the information. So I'd love to find out if what I coach is a fit and if I can help. Can we chat for a few minutes? So I'm going to ask them questions about what they're looking for, what they are looking to create in their health. And through that, we create value so that when it comes to cost, I'm happy to answer the question based on what's best for their goals. And I usually find that that's very much a match. So I love this. How many of you guys get this too? Can you just send me information? Like, people these days, I'm too busy to connect on the phone. And here's what I know is if they're too busy, they can't take 5-10 minutes to really focus on their health and determine their why. We're back to doing Medifast for a month and not Take Shape for life. And so I let them know, and it could be, well, it really depends. You could use the same thing from above. It depends on what you want to accomplish, right? And so that I would know what to send. Or this program is personalized. So it really depends on what you want to accomplish. Do you guys see a pattern here? And sorry, my Zoom's right in the way, so let me scoot that over. Accomplish. I would love to find out if what I coach is a fit, and if I can help, can we chat for a few minutes? It's the same thing. So it's kind of getting that flow of, again, it's polite. You're answering their question. You're getting back to them. You're following up, but you're really inviting them. And really the invitation is, I want to hear about you, so that I can share if what I do is a fit for you, not just, oh yeah, let me tell you what I do. So it's less about me and really more about them. And then really to kind of wrap a pretty bow around this section this is why this works, is that you can't ask enough questions to, over messaging. And I've found, that I can get a lot more accomplished, build a deeper relationship, which is really what we're about. And people are more open and willing to explore their why in a conversation, either phone or video chat. I mean, that's where the effectiveness really takes place. And the clients that we've seen have long-term success, which is what we all want for the people we're working with. We've had that initial conversation and we're continually connecting, in that medium. So messaging honestly takes more time. We think it's easier, but I'm always trying to get my words just right so that it's conveyed just right. And I'm not the best with punctuation and all of that. So phone takes a lot less time. Messaging lacks a lot of emotion. It's very impersonal. And I just feel, again, it's cheapening our offering by giving the how first, with really out exploring what they really want. So I hope that you guys had some tangible kind of takeaways from that piece, because it is important to know how can we have an effective, authentic conversation and bring people to hear more about our offering. And so what to say in a private message. If someone just kind of messages to me, I might ask them, is this for you or someone you love? So I'm kind of clarifying, are they looking for them, or are they looking to refer me to someone? And then just the same thing. Hey, it's so good to hear from you. I'm honored that you're trusted to reach out to me. Sounds like you are looking for something that will assist you to reach your goals and health. What's the best number and ideal time to reach you today? I'm excited to listen what you want to create and see if what I coach is a match for you. So again, very inviting, more about them, less about me. All right, so we're gonna really talk on social media next week too, some great tips, but I wanna talk about a social media launch, which is so fun because it's a great way to reach people outside of your sphere of influence at work or right in your community, people that you were connected to 20 years ago that you haven't had a chance to see. So I took some snapshots of some people that launched just this week, and how fun is that? And you can see they're all different. And really, I think at the end of the day, your story is gonna be personalized and it's gonna be you. So you can't just copy and paste what Sarah wrote or Nita wrote or Jennifer wrote, right? It's gonna be really, where were you before Take Shape for Life? Where are you now? And what are you experiencing in your health? And that's what's authentic and gonna draw people in. So essentially, you're going to share your story. A picture speaks 1,000 words. So it doesn't matter if you're at your goal weight. You can share before and during. It doesn't matter if you've experienced no weight loss. There's still a reason why you became a coach, what you're excited about what you're creating in your health, and you have a desire to help people. So again, work with your business coach on your story, and let's share it and put it out there. I mean, every story is inspiring in its own right. And I would encourage you guys, we all have a support mentorship thread, is to share your story in your thread with your picture there and just get their input. Again, it's really nice to have a second set of eyes before you do put it out to all your 500, 600, 700 friends on Facebook, because maybe they'll have one little tweak for you or one little thing that'll just be that will just help make that much more effective. And we want to help you with this launch. So timing, you want to pick a day where you have time to follow up, meaning don't post it and then leave off the grid to go camping for the weekends, right? And not have an opportunity to respond back to everyone. So you would just want to pick a time where you can follow up. Make your before and after your profile pic. I noticed all those ladies I just highlighted were their profile picture is their before and after. So every time you comment on anybody else's threads, your picture now is showing up. It's another great branding technique. Message all who like and comment. So we're going to talk just not on the ones that ask for more information, but just the ones that like, also the ones that liked and commented on your picture. And then just continue to share your story. You know, we talked a little last week about just posting on Facebook regularly, but what's changing in your health? I love asking that question is like, what's new in your health this week when I'm talking to any one of you on the phone and you'll go, gosh, you know, my ring finally fits, or I finally touched my toes, or I for the first time was able to mow my lawn without like getting winded. Hey, you guys, share that. It's cool. Like, it's your story and people want to hear that. People are following and they want to see what's evolving in your health. And then launch is best if it clearly states your initial launch that you're coaching. So you want to invite people to reach out. But every health related post after that, you do not need to necessarily have a call to action. Because if every post is like, call me, private message me, reach out to me, can cheapen it over time. So every once in a while, it's okay to put a call to action like, I would love to be in touch with, like reach out. But you want to add value too, and just be sharing your health, and people will innately reach out. But on that initial post, that's your initial launch, really important to kind of clarify that you're coaching and you do desire people to reach out to you. So again, these slides will be available to you, but on all likes or encouraging comments, it's just a simple message you could copy and paste to everybody like, hey, Sally, I so appreciate your support. I'm excited about my results and looking forward to helping others create health too. If you know anyone I can help, I'd love to be connected to them. Have a great day. So if you had 130 likes, you would send that to every single one of them. It's inviting, and chances are a lot of people would rather correspond on a private message. They're not willing to put out there that they need help in the public yet. So when you bring it to on a private message, they may say, gosh, I'm so, like, congratulations. How'd you do it? Right? And then what do we say? Well, really, it's back to, we don't want to give away all the information. Oh my gosh, I would love to share how I was able to, lose the 30 pounds. When would be a good time to connect? Okay, guys, get in this? All right, and if they ask for information on the thread, it's, hey, Sally, so glad you reached out. I'd love to connect on your health goals and see if it's a fit for what you're looking for. When would be a good time for us to chat? And if it's in the thread itself, I love just kind of putting a little reply, like sent you a private message, because other people are like, what is she sending them? I want that private message too. And people will start commenting, yeah, send it to me. Send it to me too. Like, I want to know, like, we have some secret. And then again, back to your list, all those names that you're messaging, all the ones that are liking, commenting, just add them to your list so we can stay consistent and professional and with our follow-up. And if they're not responding, you guys, some people just get busy, myself included, and we just get lost in the, just throughout our days. So I'll just send them a little message a few days later. That's why I have everybody on a list. Like, hey, I wanted to follow up. I'm excited, to hear more about you and your goals and see if what I coach is a fit for you. It's just kind of back in their world. Let me know when you have 5 to 10 minute window to connect. Looking forward to it. So I'll just re-message them a few days later and kind of ping them again and see if they're open to that connection. So I think that's what I have for you today, everybody. And I will, I guess I would just, Brad, I can pass it back to you, but I think at the end of the day, it's really, as I was kind of putting my mind around this, it's taking just the next steps. Like, we don't learn this by trying to study all of it or having all the right words. It's if you understand the framework of, we're not giving away the why before we really ask enough questions, inviting people to a call, using your mentorship team to model it for you, and you're going to learn as you go. And you really can't say the wrong thing to the right person. I mean, I did not do it well at first, but I was doing it. And so, because you're not going to develop the only way you learn, it's like practice makes perfect, right? So with that, I'll pass it back over to you, Brad.
Susan, I absolutely loved everything you talked about. And guys, what I have to say is, as you guys are getting started and getting your feet wet here, it's just like our program. We have predictable transformation. It might be a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, but that's exactly what I've seen by doing the exact same steps. So I'm excited for you guys to be able to to jump in and do these steps this week. So another thing here, because I know so many of you guys gotten healthy, Lori's going to go over the well-being tracker real quick because many of you guys are either have started a ton of clients or are starting to. So she's going to do a quick little overview of this tool, where to find it, and how it's going to play a role in supporting your clients. So turn it over to you, Lori.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Brad. Susan, that was amazing. Gosh, there's so much great information in there. And when I first got started, I did not do anything right. But the one thing I did do right is I always spoke from my heart, and I was my authentic self. And if that's all you guys are doing, you're going to be overwhelmed by how many people are out there that are looking for what you have to offer. And so couple things that I love about this well-being tracker is that it's going to keep you organized. You're going to have a lot of people reaching out that want to find out more information, and instead of trying to remember it all, this is the best way that you could put all of your information down. The first page is fantastic, and since you're going to be doing 3-way calls with your mentor, they're going to be walking you through and asking those questions and teaching you the skill set on how to do that. And that's what I love so much about this, is when you're using this correctly, this is how we are not a diet. This is how we are not salespeople. So at first, when I got started, I really thought, okay, I don't want to sell anything to anybody, and it kind of sometimes held me back. But going through this, you guys, you can see through these questions that what we're doing here is asking them questions about themselves. We're not sending them to our website. And so that's a big difference right there. So we'll be touching more on this in the weeks to come, on going through and asking the questions. But on page 2 of this is where you're going to keep all of your notes and take notes on them. I highly advise taking personal notes on each person, maybe some of their family members' names, just so you always have that personal touch and they know that you care. And then when you're checking in with them as well, you'll keep track of everything there. And then what you're going to want to do is print one of these off for everyone you're talking to and keep them organized in your binder. So it keeps your business very organized.
I love it, Lori. Great tips. And I love to hear, again, because this is just a good reminder of exactly how we should start with coaching, because you're not going to fill out this entire sheet on your client as it starts. You're going to fill it out week to week by supporting them. You're just going to get them started, and the rest will kind of get filled out along the way. There's plenty of stuff to have conversations on. So this is in your welcome email, or you can get it from your health coach. I recommend printing out at least 5 of them, because ideally you're going to have more than 5 by the end of this month when you're supporting your clients. And ideally, maybe print out like 10. Have a bunch of them printed out so you're ready to rock. And it's just grabbing a client. You're ready to go on that. So, guys, that's what we have for you this week. So this is week 2's action steps for all of you guys out there making a difference in the world. And surprise, surprise, it's going to come back to the basic steps, because there's nothing super special about what we're doing. We're just awesome people reaching out. The key is reaching out. So number 1 is have a list and 10 people. So if you haven't done it yet, actually grab like 10 minutes and actually do the list. And add 10 more people to it. And actually, I'm going to ask Susan to come on here and kind of like give a little bit of a recap on each of these steps, kind of put an exclamation point on it. And just reaching out to people on it authentically, and in order of not just as many as you can. It's more of quality, not as quantity. So reach out to the people that you are most excited that you think you can help get going by getting on a 3-way phone call with your support team, or inviting them to learn more, or inviting them to be able to answer their questions, or just reaching out and being bold. Whatever the most direct route is to getting your next few clients started, that's what I would encourage you to do. Susan, anything, because you so beautifully put the list in context, did you want to add anything to that step?
I just think with, list, biggest fear is people are worried what we're going to go make them do with it. I think it's like this, we're going to make you do something. Here's my question is when you write a name down, it would always be like, how are you authentically, can you reach out to them? What's your relationship with them? We're not going to ask anything that Brad or I or Lori wouldn't do ourselves. And so we want to build and strengthen that relationship and not cheapen anything that we do. So if it's just reaching out and being like, hey, I miss you. How are you? That's really what we do. What's new in your life? And it will authentically move forward from there. So it's really let's reach out and just connect with people this week, you guys. And it is amazing if you're consistent on Facebook too. They will check that on your thread, or they'll start to see, and they're going to ask you what's new in your life. And honestly, when I lost 35 pounds, Brad, I was so fiercely proud and on fire about how I felt. My friends could sense something was different, and it was easy just for me to just share what I was excited about. And they were excited for me.
Yep, I love it. And I love what you said there. I think someone else recently said that their list, they were proud to put people on the list because it showed that that's how much they cared about it. So as we go through here, we'll probably have a test of how many people are on your list, because a list is more like a badge of honor about how much you care about people. So have a list and the most direct route to reaching out to those people that you want to help. So number 2 would be if you haven't signed up your first client yet, there's plenty of time. Sign up your next client, do your next 3-way call with your health coach. We kind of went over some verbiage last week of how we set that up. So if you've already done that, then your next goal this week is to do your next 2 to 3 calls and connections with people and sign up ideally your next 2 to 3 clients on your way to 5. If you've already done 5, then, connect with your support team because you just celebrated something. We have another, for those that are on their way making it, we have a tool that we give you at 5. It's kind of a graduation tool. So for your next step of your business. So next goal is literally where the rubber meets the road, is who are you getting healthy next? And I'm just going to go, my friend Doug has a joke about being Doug unplugged. So I'm going to go unplugged as well, guys. Seriously. One of the biggest benefits of being a coach and being in this community is I've constantly been pushed to go beyond what I think is possible. And if this blows your mind right now, I want you to kind of just feel what it feels like, because this shouldn't blow your mind. How can you start 5 people this week? There are people that you guys were on the health huddle. Many of you were. People want this shift in their health. And so really, I can't think of anyone after almost 7 years of doing this, that doesn't want this or can't benefit it from some level. If they're not chasing you down on your front door to sign up right now, it's because they don't know the value that you're bringing to them. And it's our job to help them understand. So 5 clients, most people do that in their first week to 2 weeks if they're doing a good job of what Susan just did. So let's kick up the gusto a little bit in that area. That would be your number 2 action step. And then number 3 would be do your Facebook launch. And if you haven't already, and check with your support team, do it in the thread real quick. It doesn't need to be like a rocket shuttle launch, but do your Facebook launch. And if you've already done it, continue posting afterwards. So that's what's going to help you reach some of these people, and also get some people reaching out to you and people that you could add to your list. So Susan, any last thoughts on that one, which I know you did a really good job of laying out?
Well, if you do your launch this week, you should, or if you've already done it, you should actually already have probably well over 100 people on your list, because if you're tracking all the people that liked and commented, and you're sending them a little message, and many of those are going to turn into authentic conversations. They're going to ask oh, that's awesome. What did you do? How did that work? Your list should be well over 20 people. So that's what's kind of exciting. And I agree, Brad, it's 5 people, it's very doable. People know what you do. So if no one knows to reach out to you, that's, you can't blame them. But trust me, we have something people want and it's just they don't know. So can you just share with more people and let people know what you're excited about? Because then it's like you're creating interest, and people really coming to you asking what is it? I want to know more. I'm looking for help.
Awesome. I love it. Good tips. Great job to everyone. Again, this last little bit, we see the impact you're making. Let's go create some more success. Let's go get these steps aligned, and let's start our next few people getting healthy. There's nothing more exciting than when someone says yes and helping them. So you guys, great job. Last week, we opened it up for questions, and I'm actually going to specifically not open it up for questions because I also want to train you on one last habit that's going to make you really successful as a health coach. If you have even the smallest question, reach out to your support thread, where you have 2 lines of support on your Facebook, and ask the question, or just pick up the phone and call. So there's tons of support. We want to support you guys. So if you guys have questions on anything that came up here, throw it in the message, or just reach out with a good old-fashioned phone call. With that being said, let's go be on purpose this week, because people are waiting for health, and April's a good time to do it. So congrats again, and we'll see you guys next week with some more action steps done and more celebrations and more smiley faces. Talk to you guys later.
Bye, everybody. Good night.